What is up, guys? It's your boy Milad coming to you another day with another movie review. This day we got a pretty interesting movie to talk about. Also, I got a new mic, and it's specifically for this channel and for these videos and some other videos that I had in mind, but nonetheless I felt like this would raise the quality of this channel, so I got another mic. It is kind of annoying just having a little black dot kind of just sitting there, and it's like on top of the shirt, but nonetheless, as long as it gets better audio quality for you guys, then that's all that really matters. So without further ado, let's get on with the movie review. This movie that we're going to be talking about is an interesting movie that had a lot of people talking when the trailer first came out. This movie is called Good Boys. Now, it's a pretty interesting movie. You kind of watch the trailer and you're like, wow, how did they film a rated R movie filled with children? And usually when you're dealing with a rated R movie, even if you're dealing with children, it's usually adults who kind of look like teenagers, but they kind of like, they're over 18. But this time they got full-on children dealing with a bunch of different toys, quote unquote toys, and cursing and swearing, and have them in the movie. So without further ado, I think that's the second time I've said that, let's get on with the movie review. Now, my whole thought process going into the movie was this is going to be a straight up funny comedy, and it did not hesitate on delivering that. It was hilarious. If you just want a fun little movie to watch with the boys, or if you females want to watch a movie with the girls, then this is that kind of a movie. It's a movie to watch with your friends and just have a good old laugh about, and just like, it's kind of fun having that person sitting next to you and you look over and you see their reaction and you're just like, did the movie really just pull that? Did the movie really just do that? And Good Boys really encompasses that. I'm not really going to spoil anything in the movie for this one because of the fact that it's kind of just a comedy that has a little bit of a story, but it's kind of cliche in the sense that it deals with teenagers and drugs and cursing and toys, and it just goes about that whole process of things, which isn't really too common to deal with when you're growing up, at least certain aspects and the certain way this film kind of personifies it. It's got a bunch of hilarious scenes. I felt like that's what this film pretty much was, is it was a bunch of scenes of like pure comedy just pieced together as much as they could have possibly done. The storyline was cool, whatever, but like they really were golden in terms of coming up with a specific scene and having that be comedic and enjoyable and fun for the audience to watch. Now, the audience, that's another aspect of this film I want to talk about. If you're watching it on the later days after it's come out, you will be probably chilling in the movie theater. But I watched it last night, which was the day of the movie coming out. Movies come out on Fridays, but technically they have showings on the Thursday the day before. But some movies are also different as well. But this movie came out last night, or yesterday in general, and it was packed. And the theater had a lot of people laughing like no tomorrow, which was kind of bumming me out a little bit because I was like, okay, it's gotten to the point where I can't really hear what's going on, and it's gotten to the point where people are literally laughing at everything, even if it's not something funny. Like the kid could go slide down a slide and just the look on his face would make everyone laugh. Like I felt like people just expected every scene to make them laugh, which is kind of a good thing in terms of the movie, because if the movie is making the audience think that every scene is comedic, then the movie is pretty successful in that aspect. So that's a good thing from the movie perspective, but for a moviegoer, it is kind of annoying having everyone just yelling out and just laughing and throwing out comments, which is kind of one of the bumming things of watching a movie in the theater, is if you go with the wrong crowd, it can be a little bit of a mess and can make the movie not as enjoyable to watch. But regardless, even with all of that, it was super funny and super fun to watch. Now, I'm going to be rating this on a scale that is purely towards comedic and not towards a movie in general. I usually rate out of 10, and I usually rate for how good the movie was, and I'm not like, oh, it's an action, it's this good for an action, or oh, it's this kind of movie, it's this good for that kind of a movie. But this one I kind of have to do that for, because if I did rate it on a scale for movies in general, it would not do that great, even though it had a pretty fun, cool storyline. But I'm gonna have to rate it strictly comedically, and I would have to say it's like an 8.5 out of 10 on like a comedic scale, because it is absolutely hilarious, but it doesn't have a memorable aspect to the movie. It's not like The Hangover, it's not like Superbad, it's not like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where you come out and it's just a memorable experience. Like even a movie like Long Shot or Booksmart that came out earlier this year, it wasn't as funny as Good Boys, but I came out with a very memorable experience, and that's what this movie was missing. It was missing that memorable aspect of it, which I could see them going for it, because it was a very different type of movie in terms of them trying to go with an adult film that was like fully revolving around kids, pretty much a comedic Stranger Things, as one of my friends phrased it. But I'll probably end up watching the movie again when the hype dies down a little bit and I have the chance to. So that's pretty much it for the movie review. 8.5 out of 10 for the comedic aspect of things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I would go watch it, and that's my recommendation for the movie. Everyone should probably watch it, except for maybe stingy parents. That might not be the best crowd. Like, taking your mom might not be the best idea unless they're a very cool person who's like totally down with all this stuff. But otherwise, everyone was probably going to enjoy this movie. Even parents might enjoy this movie, just not with their children. They'd enjoy it if it was just them watching it, but they would not want their children to be watching this. But nonetheless, let's end the video here. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.